It's possibly the best monster movie Universal ever made, and it also happens to be one of the funniest. But did you know Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein wasn't just a huge success for the studio, it practically saved them from bankruptcy. And it's available to stream for free on the new free streaming app Momitu. By the mid-1940s, Universal was struggling to stay alive. They'd jettisoned most of their stars, including Wolfman Lon Chaney Jr., and a British businessman named J. Arthur Rank had bought a one-quarter interest in the studio, which had also merged with production company International Pictures. Rank had a history of investing in film studios, including Pinewood and Denham, and his money would go on to back some of the most successful and acclaimed films to ever come out of England, such as Black Narcissus and The Red Shoes. But Universal International was still gasping for air, and when Universal starts flailing in the water, they turn to monsters as a life raft. Interestingly, while this was going on, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello were still contracted with the studio, and they were also in need of a boost. Sure, they'd become huge during the war, but by the end of the decade, they'd already lost their radio show, and the duo was in danger of splitting up. On top of their dwindling popularity, the Universal monsters themselves had stopped drawing audiences to theaters, to the point where the studio started teaming them up, like in 1943's Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. So a plan was hatched to put Universal, the monsters, and Abbott and Costello back on the map, with a brand new comedy film written by Frederick Rinaldo and Robert Lees, and directed by Charles Barton. Rinaldo and Lees had worked on Abbott and Costello's films before, and Barton was a noted comedy director. But some key people weren't convinced that this was the way to go. Dracula actor Bela Lugosi originally swore he'd never see the film, though he donned the cape for the second time on film since his screen debut in 1931. And Lon Chaney Jr. came back to portray Larry Talbot, who turns into the ferocious Wolfman. But Boris Karloff swore he'd never play Frankenstein's monster again. That role fell to Glenn Strange, who had played him in 1944's House of Frankenstein and 1945's House of Dracula. But Frankenstein's creature, Dracula, and the Wolfman weren't the only monsters on set. Abbott and Costello also hated the script and weren't interested in bringing it to life. And yet this ensemble horror comedy became a huge hit for Universal International. Not only was it relatively cheap to make, under $800,000, but it earned over $3 million at the box office. And it kicked off a series of other Abbott and Costello Meet films, where the duo crossed paths with one or more of Universal's famous Monster Squad. But the one that kicked it all off was this film right here, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which you can now stream for free on Momitu. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the lobby.